Today, we're doing a forensic deconstruction of a powerful psychological weapon used in some of the most devastating fraud cases out there. This system, well, it's not just designed to steal money. It's designed to completely dismantle a person's reality by turning the people they love and trust against them. So let's just start with the core idea here, which is, honestly, it's chilling. This isn't about some clever computer trick or a fast-talking sales pitch. No. This is about weaponizing something deep inside all of us, our fundamental need to connect and to trust. The entire goal is to slowly, carefully, and methodically convince someone that the only person left in the whole world they can trust is the one who's about to take everything from them.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First up, a weapon called loneliness. Then we'll look at the psychological vacuum it creates. We'll map out the social-sundering machine step by step. Then we'll get into the biology of the trap, why it works. And don't worry, we'll finish with the defense, how you can protect yourself, and a protective mantra to take with you.
Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1, a weapon called loneliness. And it's so important to get this right from the start. This isn't just about scammers preying on people who are already lonely. No, it's way more sinister. It's an active process of creating profound isolation where it didn't exist before, and then turning that loneliness into a weapon.
And that process has a name, social-sundering. The whole scam is built on this one idea. Think of it like this. Imagine a demolition expert carefully placing charges on every single support beam of a building. That's what the manipulator does. They identify all your connections, your family, your friends, your advisors, and they work one by one to cut those ties until they're the only person left standing.
Okay, so once those ties are cut, what happens next? Well, it creates this dangerous void, and that's what we're talking about in Section 2, the psychological vacuum. This is how they mute your instincts. And it's not just about feeling alone, it's about being completely cognitively crippled. You know, we're all wired for something called social monitoring. It's this deep, innate need to check in with people we trust to make sure our perception of reality is, well, real. If something feels a little off, what's the first thing you do? You ask a friend, hey, does this seem weird to you? That's a survival instinct, and scammers know it. Their number one goal is to disable that alarm system by cutting you off from the very people you use to check your gut. And when they succeed, the results are just devastating. We're not talking about small-time scams here. The median loss in these high-impact scams, where isolation is the main weapon, is over $100,000. The data is crystal clear. Isolation is the one thing that turns a regular scam into a life-destroying financial catastrophe. So here's the bottom line. Once that third-party reality check is gone, once you're cut off from those outside voices, the scammer creates this psychological vacuum. And inside that vacuum, think about it, there's nothing else. No second opinions. No one asking, hey, are you sure about this? The manipulator's voice becomes the only voice, the only source of reality. And whatever they say suddenly feels like the only logical thing to do.
All right, let's get into the mechanics of it. Section 3, the social-sundering machine. And I want to be clear, this is not random. It is a precise, step-by-step playbook designed to do one thing: anchor dependency and then extract everything.
So this is the playbook, the whole 7-step process. It starts with targeting. They look for people who might be in a low support phase of life. Then they move to step 2, becoming the exclusive confidant, where they mirror you perfectly to build insane levels of trust. Step 3 is character assassination. This is where they start planting seeds of doubt about your family, your friends, even your bank. That leads right into the secrecy mandate, where they make keeping quiet feel like an act of loyalty. Then comes the information embargo, where they actually give you scripts, literal scripts, to lie to officials or bank tellers. It's only then, after all that groundwork, that the extraction begins. And the last piece, the most cruel part, is shame locking. They use the fact that you lie to people to make you too ashamed to ever tell anyone what really happened. Okay, stop and really focus on this, because this is the crucial moment. This is the turning point. The scammer creates an us versus them world. And the second the victim accepts that first secret, the first time they agree not to tell their spouse or their kids something, they've just chosen us. And from that moment on, in their mind, their own family becomes the outsider.
And that right there leads to what we call the psychological choke point. It's genius in a horrible way. They frame secrecy not as something shady, but as an act of loyalty. They say things like, our connection is special, they just won't get it. Or, we have to protect this from them. And the victim starts to believe that keeping the secret is protecting the relationship. That belief, that's the lock on the cage. It makes telling their family feel like a massive betrayal.
And here's where the whole thing just flips on its head. Look at this. On the left, you've got what your bank is supposed to ask you, right? They're trying to protect you. What's this large transfer for? But on the right, that's the scammer's script. Tell them it's for a home renovation. This is the moment the victim is no longer just a target. They're coached to lie, making them an active partner in their own robbery. The scammer literally tells them that the bank's protection is an attack on their freedom. It's pure financial gaslighting.
So all of this begs a really big question. Why does this work? And why does it work on smart, capable, intelligent people? Well, the answer has nothing to do with common sense. It's all about biology. This is section 4, the biology of the trap. It's about how this system hijacks our own brain chemistry.
I mean, it seems so simple, right? Why doesn't a person just walk away? Just hang up the phone? Again, it's not about being smart. It's about how this scam hijacks our most basic survival instincts. As soon as that isolation kicks in, a person's own brain starts working against them. Okay, so remember that psychological vacuum? Inside it, the scammer is the only source of connection, the only person giving them any validation. So the brain takes a shortcut. It's called a dependency heuristic. It starts to see that scammer as a survival anchor. I mean, on a deep primal level, the brain thinks losing this one connection is like being kicked out of the tribe. It's a life or death threat. And that feeling, it completely overrides all rational thought.
And that leads straight into something called an amygdala hijack. The fear of losing that survival anchor is so intense that it triggers the amygdala, the brain's fear center, and it just completely bypasses the logical, rational part of your brain. So when that happens, a $50,000 wire transfer doesn't register as a financial decision. No, it feels like a desperate, non-negotiable act to save your one and only friend in the entire world.
So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just some clever trick. It's a biological exploit. The scammer literally turns the victim's own biology against them. They create loneliness, and then they use our ancient, powerful drive for connection as the engine to power the whole heist. The victim isn't thinking rationally, they're reacting from a place of pure, chemically induced fear. Okay, we've taken the machine apart. We see how it works. Now, let's build the defense. And the good news is, it's not complicated. It's an actionable toolkit, a framework for you and your loved ones. Let's get into it.
These are your early morning signs. 4 simple steps. First, learn to detect well poisoning. If a stranger starts telling you who in your life you can't trust, that's a giant red flag. Second, use third-party friction. Make a personal rule. Never make a big decision in a vacuum. Always run it by someone neutral. Third, audit for encryption. A sudden push to move to a secret chat app, that is a classic move. And finally, spot the script. This one's easy. If someone is telling you what to say to your bank, you are being controlled. Full stop. And this right here, this is the master key, the transparency rule. Make it a personal policy that you are simply incapable of keeping big secrets, financial or otherwise, from your inner circle. And you can even say it out loud to new people. Hey, just so you know, I have a rule. I don't keep money secrets from my spouse. A statement like that is like garlic to a vampire for these manipulators. A normal person will respect it. A scammer, they'll just disappear. Okay, last section. Let's boil this all down to one single powerful idea you can take with you. Your protective mantra. I really want you to burn this into your memory. Truth thrives in the light. Scams need darkness. Secrecy is the oxygen fraud needs to breathe. Any real opportunity, any real relationship can handle a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of scrutiny from the people you trust. So if someone tells you the most important part of the deal is that you keep it a secret, they're telling you they want you to keep it a loss. It's not a deal, it's a trap. So make this your mantra, something you can say to yourself and even say out loud to someone who's pushing you. I don't keep secrets from my support team. If you want me alone, you want me vulnerable. It's a simple sentence, but it's a powerful shield. It protects your relationships, it protects your money, and it protects your peace of mind.